Hello, my name is Hemingway Jones, and I make videos about fountain pens, inks, journals, and journaling for curious people. So welcome to the channel. I'm happy to have you here. Today we have a very interesting fountain pen to look at. And this is the Jinhao 9019. This pen has been out for about 3 months. First thing you think about when you look at this pen is how huge it is. It is truly gargantuan in every respect. But the big question is this just a giant pen for its own sake, or is it an amazing writing instrument all its own? Well, let's discover this together, shall we? First of all, I'd like to thank Wolf Kate Witch for sending me this pen. Thank you very much. And now I'm happy to share it with all of you. So let's take a tour around the Jinhao 9019. So this particular fountain pen is in the transparent wine red color. And I really like the demonstrator colors for Jinhao, and I'll get into those reasons why later. This has a fine nib, and that is rare in my collection, but I do like fine nibs. So it'll be super fun as we try this pen out. First of all, let's talk about some of the features of this pen. Let's start with the colors. It comes in transparent, which is the pure demonstrator, which is absolutely brilliant. Then of course it's the wine red, as I have today. There's also a transparent light blue, which looks very nice. A dark blue, which is similar to the dark blue in the X159. A black and a red that's wine red, also similar to the wine red in the X159. Very nice colors. Let's touch on some of the other general facts about this pen. So the impressive and beautiful number 8 size nib comes in extra fine, fine, and medium. It would be great if they had more nib sizes available, but Jinhao's famous for releasing pens with just fine and medium nibs. So it is nice to at least have an extra fine here. The material that it's made out of is acrylic. It's polished. It's beautiful. It's very well finished. But I don't know how brittle it is, so I would take care, make sure it doesn't get crushed. I do that with any plastic pen in any case. The pen itself is light, but not feather light. It's 32 grams. It feels good in the hand. I think the giant converter is a source of a lot of its weight. You can post this pen or not, as you prefer. I will probably post it. It's just a little bit short in my hand, unposted. But it is very thick. It's 18 millimeters thick, which has some interesting advantages that we'll get into in a bit. But in holding it and looking at it, it feels a bit awkward. I wonder what it's going to be like to write with. We'll look at that in a few moments. So let's take a tour around this lovely pen, shall we? I think the first thing that you notice is the gold accents. The gold clip has a nice taper to it, a beautiful globe of metal for clipping to your clothes or your papers. It's very tight, very effective. It says Jinhao on it. Definitely well executed. It's also securely attached to the top of the clip. Now, one of the things I really like about this pen, and I think if you know me and know this channel, you've probably noticed it already. That is this ring of metal around the cap that will protect it from chipping should you drop it. Now, it's a screw-on cap. It's very effective. It screws on very tightly with no wobble. I quite like that. And there is an inner lining as well. So it should keep this giant number 8 nib nice and juicy for when you need to write. So that's exciting. The nib itself is very beautiful. Jinhao nibs are very, very pretty. I love the two-tone. They just look much more expensive than they actually are. Now, there's a lot of fun on this side of the pen. The reason I said earlier that I thought it was best to get it in a demonstrator is because if you can see through it, you can see this magnificent and gigantic converter. Now there's metal threads, which means you can't use it as an eyedropper, but they do work very effectively. And look at this converter that it reveals. Nice gold plating, really pretty. Plastic barrel here, but that's okay. The effectiveness is definitely in the size, and it has a nice finish. Now this can also be used with cartridges, but I don't know why you would if you have this option. It's just absolutely brilliant. I can't wait to fill this and to get to work. So let's go back to the pen itself. You'll see that the grip has a little lip by the nib, which will keep your fingers in line. They won't slide down onto your nib and get inky. Now you see it is a little short in my hand unposted, but I feel like you can just post away. The cost of this pen is negligible, and posting it is very secure, very nice pen. Okay, the ink we're going to use today is Scribble Rosso Chianti, because we have a wine theme in the pen, and we may as well keep it consistent. So it's a lot of fun to unscrew this, and I'm really excited to see how this gigantic converter fills this pen. And the converter itself attaches by screwing in. Wow, usually I like to build up a vacuum by doing it a few times, but that actually did a really great job the first time out. So very full fill. Let's clean it up and see how it writes. Okay everyone, so this is the moment of truth. And if you know me and you know this channel, you know I have had mixed results at best with Jinhao. So I'm kind of curious myself how this pen will do. So let's try. This is first strokes with the Jinhao 9019. Oh, okay, there we go. We did have a little bit of a false start there. I might write that off to me and the angle, because filming can be a little awkward sometimes. So this is interesting. It's really, really smooth. This is interesting. This is a really smooth pen. And it has a bit of line variation. And as you write, it almost feels like it has a little bit of bounce. But yeah, just a tad. I would say it has a touch of bounce. So surprisingly enjoyable. Okay, let's scribble a bit and see how it holds up. Oh, this is magnificent. This is really good. This is a very wet, hungry feed, but you can see it's putting down some line variation. Now I'm losing some there. Let me see if that's bad technique or the pen, because it could be both. I think it might be bad technique. And also the angle, because I'm at a funny angle when I record these. But look at this. It's pretty effective. Yeah, I mean, this is keeping up with whatever I do. I like a pen that writes with enthusiasm. So it definitely passes my Scribble test. So now that I've had a chance to write with it, let me give you my feelings on the Jinhao 9019. I want to let you know if I think it's a pen you should buy and the value proposition. That's important, so stick around for that. Well, first off, I'm really surprised. I've had very bad luck with Jinhaos. But this one, maybe it's because the converter's large and the way it works with the feeder, it gives you a lot of ink. It writes with enthusiasm. And there was plenty of ink flow, and it was very enjoyable. It's a very nice, smooth nib, and it definitely punches way above its weight in performance. Now that is a huge pro. But now let's get into some of the problems, okay? While you write with this pen, it feels a little bit like driving a camper van through the downtown of a European city. It's just too much width trying to get into a thin line. It's a little awkward, it's a little unwieldy. Now you may prefer that, and I respect it, but personally, I'm getting away from thicker pens, but even if I wasn't, this pen feels extraordinarily thick. And to me, that is a con. But all in all, I have to say, I'm impressed with how well it writes. I actually really like this fine nib, and I'm going to write with it some more and see how it goes. So I'll say if you're someone who likes oversized pens, then this could very much be a fantastic option for you. It's well made, it's extremely affordable, and it writes fantastically. For me though, the grip is just too wide, too thick to be a comfortable everyday pen. In fact, I kind of wish it had a broad nib or a really wide stub. It would make a great signature pen, but I don't know if I want to journal with this for 2 hours. So keep that in mind. So lastly, let's talk about one of the most important things in regards to Jinhao, and that is the value. So the value proposition with this pen is amazing. The fit and finish is perfect. The writing experience is fantastic. And the price? Well, in researching for this video, I found this pen listed anywhere from $3 to $8 on Alibaba and eBay. And I see the online pen retailers here in the United States are charging upwards of $15 to $20 for it. So how much does this pen cost? Basically whatever you want to pay for it, from whomever you wish to buy it from and how long you want to wait. Because if you get it from Alibaba, sometimes it shows up about a month later. Nevertheless, an extraordinary value at even $20. Fantastic writer. It is brilliant. So I do recommend it, as long as you don't mind how thick it is. But how could you go wrong even for $20? So, what do you think of the Jinhao 9019? Is it a pen that you're interested in? Are you going to add it to your collection? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, because I always like to keep up with what you guys are thinking. So if you've reached this point in the video, please consider subscribing. I'd love to have you along on this journey with us. I do pen reviews, journaling tutorials, and we travel to amazing places together. I think you'll like this channel. Also, if you really want to support me, then membership is available. I appreciate that as well, because YouTube doesn't provide the best support for tiny channels. So we try our best. So I make new videos every week, and I have a live show every Tuesday night at 8. So I promise we will see each other again very soon, further up the road. So take care.